morning. How's everyone today?
Good.
Good. Before we start our lesson, as always, I'm going to quickly go over our 3 classroom rules, which are posted on the wall as a reminder of the expectations. Rule number 1, say them with me. Rule number 1, raise your hand for permission to speak. Rule number 2, raise your hand for permission to leave your seat. And rule number 3, keep your dear teacher happy. What makes me happy? Simply your participation, your effort, and making good choices throughout the lesson. Give me a thumbs up if you are ready to start. Good job. Thank you, boys and girls. Also, before we begin, I'm going to go over the standards. The standards are our goals. We have 2 of them today. We have ELA, and we also have an art standard. I'm going to read them to you, and then I'll quickly explain what they are. If you have any questions, just raise your hand. Your ELA standard for today is to engage effectively in a range of collaborative discussions, to go over a 3rd grade topic, which we're doing today because you're 3rd grade, and to build on each other's ideas. Our art standard is cognition and reflection are required to appreciate, interpret, and create with artistic intent. Did you hear that? Create. That means we will be making something today that's going to be related to the text that we read. We read Balloons Over Broadway last week. Raise your hand if you remember that read aloud. Awesome. Who remembers what the main idea of the story was? Or just give me a quick summary of what was Balloons Over Broadway about. Chloe?
It was a guy named Tony Sarge, and he was, what do you call it? The ones with the...
A puppeteer?
Yes. And he helped, he teamed up with Miss...
There was another person in the story who remembers. Mr. Macy, you got it.
And they teamed up together to make balloons for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day.
That's right. The story is about Tony Sarge, the puppeteer that made the balloons for the Thanksgiving Day parade in New York City. So we're going to revisit that story again. Today we're going to do it using a video as a audiobook read aloud, but we're not going to listen to the whole story again. Just a quick little snippet that's going to help support why we're going to collaborate in the discussion and why we're making the art project that we're making today. So our objective for the lesson is, given text, the book, and given audio, an audiobook that we're going to watch a snippet of today, you will be able to engage in a collaborative discussion. We are going to plan out a process on how to create our balloon models. Did you hear me? What are we creating? Balloon models. We're creating our own balloon models, which is our art standard, and that's going to reflect back to the text. What does reflecting mean? We are doing what when we reflect? Tell me. Thinking. So we're thinking back to our story, and we are creating something based on the story. Parades are exciting. Raise your hand if you've been to a parade. Awesome. Not everyone's been to a parade, and that's totally okay. I didn't go to my first parade until I was a little older. If you've been to a parade, raise your hand if you'd like to share. What is your favorite thing to see at a parade? Anthony?
The fun balloons.
The fun balloons. Chloe?
The music and the floats.
Awesome. The music, the floats, the balloons. I agree. Even dancers sometimes at the parades. Good job, guys. Excellent job. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready today. Awesome. Before I show the snippet, I just want to activate a little bit of prior knowledge to help you remember what we read last week. I'm going to ask you a question. So, Chloe, what made the Thanksgiving Day parade so exciting?
The floats and the balloons and the people all around.
That's right. People from all over the world come to see that parade. Are floats and balloons the same thing?
No.
No, they're not. You're right. That's a misconception. Floats are vehicles that carry people and decorations. Balloons are those big floaty things that you see in parades that are in the air. They can be characters, all kinds of cool stuff. Based on the text that we read last week, think back and tell me, did Tony Sarge work alone? He just came up with his own ideas and kind of winged it on his own? Or did he really reach out to partners and work with different people to make his ideas come alive? Anthony, what do you remember?
You didn't work alone. You have to collaborate with someone because it was a big job to do.
It was a big job to do. He did collaborate with others. Good job. Chloe, I thought I saw your hand up. No? Okay. Did he follow a process or did he just go with his thoughts? What did he do? Yes.
He had to collaborate with Mr. Macy and create steps
He
so they
did.
could both get what they both wanted.
That's right. Collaborate means to work together with someone. So absolutely, people have to contribute. You have to take from the other person's ideas. You have to give ideas. You're working together. So that's what we're doing today. We're collaborating in discussion and in creating our project. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a short video. This video is actually the audiobook to the book that we read last week. I want to show you this short piece only because it really supports the process. It supports collaborating with others, which is our ELA standard and our art standard. So eyes on the screen, please, and let's listen to this part of the story. Oh, technician, can you please start the video for me?
Okay.
Thank you. Can everyone see? Okay, if you can't hear or see, move your seat up closer, please.
He figured out ways to make his marionette's movements so lifelike that they performed as if they were real actors. Word soon spread about Tony's amazing marionettes. When Tony moved to New York City, the Tony Sarg marionettes began performing on Broadway. In the heart of New York City, in Herald Square, was the biggest store on earth, R.H. Macy's department store. Macy's had heard about Tony's puppets and asked him to design a puppet parade for the store's holiday windows. So Tony made new puppets based on storybook characters, then attached them to gears and pulleys to make them move. Macy's agreed to put on a parade for their employees, and they hired Tony to help.
Technician,
Tony
can you
too
pause the video for a minute?
So he
Can you see that he has a big board and it looks like he has drawings? What do you think he's doing with that? What is he? What's the stage that he's at? What is he doing?
He's like creating a plan to like from real life stuff to like a
He's planning. Thank you for using that word, Anthony. He's already in the process of planning something. Good job. Go ahead and continue the video, please.
loved the idea of creating a parade based on street carnivals from all year. The parade grew. But when Macy's
Okay,
brought in
technician, can you
lions
please
and
pause the
tigers,
video again?
in addition to the bears,
Awesome job. Thank you so much. So Tony is planning. He is in the middle of planning. Mr. Macy called him. They're collaborating together. So Tony had a small idea. He needed to figure out how to make it a bigger and better idea. And that's why today we're going to collaborate with partners on our art project. Does that sound like fun?
Yeah.
Give me a thumbs up if you are with it. Yes, good job. Now I'm going to ask you for a moment to sit with your partners, your reading partners, because in a moment you're going to engage in a conversation, okay? But before we do that, this is my I do. I'm going to show you what I did to make my very own puppet. Okay, don't make fun. Yes, it's a little funny looking. I don't know how to draw very well, but I did my best. I came up with an idea. I came up with a concept. I actually collaborated with my daughter. I couldn't think of anything. And she said, why don't you draw a cat? And I said, okay. So I drew my cat. I colored my cat. I then stapled one side of my cat. I stuffed it with cotton. Stapled the other side so that the cotton wouldn't fall out. And the last step was to add a popsicle stick. So now I have my very own balloon model. I can actually march around with my balloon puppet. So I'm going to pass this around. I want you to take a quick look at it. Did everyone get a chance? Did you get a chance to look at it? Okay. So I'd like to give you a minute to turn to your partner, your reading partner, and think about, what can we create today? Try to come to an agreement on something you can both draw. Think of an animal. Think of a character. You can even maybe create something based off the text that we read. Think of the balloons that we saw in the story. So you have 1 minute to go ahead and collaborate with your partner in a discussion on what you are going to create today. I'm going to walk around and just listen to your discussions for a minute. Make sure everyone's on topic, okay? Go ahead and begin.
Do you want to do an animal or a character?
Okay, class. Is there anyone that would like to share what concept they came up with for their art project? Anyone? Anyone? Chloe,
We made a Roblox face.
you're gonna make a Roblox face? Awesome. Did you both come up with that idea? You agreed with it? Okay, I think that's a great plan. I'm gonna start calling you guys by partners, by names, to go to your seat. As soon as you go to your seat, please take out your tool pouches, and then I'll go over the materials that you're gonna need for your art project. Okay, Chloe and Anthony, go ahead and go to your seats, please. Take out your tool pouches. You can just have them ready. Bobby and Rachel, go ahead and go. Class.
Yes.
I would like to give out 2 shark bites to you two because you followed directions quickly and showed a lot of participation and effort on the carpet. Thank you so much for being models for your entire class. Good job, keep it up. Okay, we are now at the guided practice of the lesson where we together are going to collaborate on steps. We're going to collaborate on a process to make our balloon models. Does that sound exciting?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Thinking about the text and thinking about my demonstration on the carpet of how I made my balloon model, remember you can add from it, you can take away from it. What would you say would be the first part that we need to do? Chloe.
Draw it.
We are going to draw a picture. There's something I think even before you draw the picture. What did you do on the carpet? Anthony.
You have to plan.
You have to plan. What are we going to draw? You guys have to figure that out first. So plan. And then Chloe said draw. Very good. What would be the third step? What do you think we should do next? We planned it out in our heads. We drew our picture. What should we do next? Anthony.
You color.
Color it. Yes, let's color our picture so that it's not just on white paper. We want to make it vibrant. We want to be creative about it. So let's color it. What do you think is next? And let me show you my model again. In case you need help remembering, I'm going to pass it around again, give you ideas of maybe what would be a next step. Chloe.
Cut.
Yes, let's cut out our picture. Now, there is a second part of this guided practice. I'm going to guide you. We're going to together cut out our pictures because I want to make sure that you know what to do to have a front and a back to your model. So I will guide you in that process. Okay, so we plan, we draw, we color, we cut. What do you think comes next? Yeah. Class.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to stop drawing and coloring for a moment. Don't worry, there will be more time at the end to finish. You're going to work on these independently. But I wanted to do the cutting process as a guided practice so that we all get it done together. We are doing this together. I'm going to hand you a second piece of paper, okay? You are going to put the second piece of paper behind your drawing. So you have your drawing. Look up at me first. Look up at me, please. You have your drawing. You put your second piece of paper behind it. Make sure it is aligned correctly. And then you have to have your scissors ready. And you're going to cut very carefully your picture with both pieces of paper at the same time. Why? Because I want you, again, to have a front and a back to your balloon model. Okay? So I will demonstrate and we will do this together. Class.
Yes.
May I have your attention for a minute? Put your pencils down. This is really important and it's my fault. I forgot. Teachers make mistakes all the time too. I wanted to make sure I go over the rubric. I have a rubric posted here for you that you can refer to as you're working on your art project. These are the things that I will be looking for and in assessing you. Number 1, Is it creative? Is it an idea that you came up on your own, as in, with your partner? Creative craftsmanship means that you are working as neatly as possible, keeping your tools in a safe place and cleaning up when you're done. Colorful, that's why we're using our crayons, so don't just give me a white piece of paper and say, here's mine, I'm finished. Take some time to color it. And complete it. Make sure it's completed by the end of this lesson. So this is my rubric, this is what you are going to refer to, this is how I will be assessing your art standard. Okay? Look up here whenever you need it, and now you may continue. Okay, boys and girls, now that we have completed our guided practice, now you will have some time to work on your own. This is the you do part of the lesson. So you will work independently to complete your balloon models. If you need to go back to finish the coloring, you may do that at this time. You will also complete stapling it, stuffing it with the cotton that I gave you. I've also handed out popsicle sticks. Did everyone get their popsicle sticks? Everyone got their cotton? Great, excellent. You are going to go ahead now and complete your balloon model on your own. Class?
Yes.
Good job cleaning up and coming quickly over here so we can wrap up our lesson today. Again, our objective was to collaborate in discussion and in creation of our balloon models. Would you say that we did that to hit both of our standards today?
Yeah.
Our ELA and art, thumbs up if you think we've met our objective. I think we did do that. Thank you so much. I'm going to ask you 3 questions just to wrap up the lesson. I will use my call box to make sure everyone's had a fair chance at answering something today. Okay? And here we go. And if you don't have the response, don't worry, a friend will help you. Chloe C., how do you feel about the process of making your balloon model? Did you think there was something very challenging, or was it easy?
It wasn't that easy because it was cutting it out was pretty hard.
Okay, so you think the cutting part was the challenging part? Yeah. Okay, well thank you for sharing and being honest. And we have a question for Anthony M. Anthony M., do you think it was hard to collaborate with a partner, or was it actually more helpful?
Both.
Both, okay, can you tell me why?
It was good because you can work with another person and you can get the project done faster and better. But you also have to, but the bad side is that you have to agree on one thing.
I agree, 2 very good responses. It is sometimes difficult to, Susie, please get back in your seat. Sometimes it is difficult to collaborate because you have to come into agreement. You have to work well with the other person. But the benefit of that is, yes, the other person could share maybe ideas that you didn't have. And they can help you make your idea bigger and better and fast and get it done faster. Great responses, Anthony. And we have one more rapid question. This one is for Chloe S. Chloe S., in your opinion, based on the text that we read, and even maybe the snippet of the video that we saw today, how do you think Mr. Sarge felt about working with Mr. Macy?
I think he felt good about that because Mr. Macy helped his ideas be bigger and better.
That's right, he sure did, and they proved that in the movie that we saw, rather the video that we saw, and the book, that because of their ideas and their collaboration, we have these beautiful balloons in the Thanksgiving Day Parade that we still see today. Awesome job. And here's my final question. This is a higher level thinking question, so put on your thinking caps. I am going to ask, and anyone can answer this. Based on the book, do you think of Tony Sarge as a problem solver? And if so, what piece of evidence can you give me from the book? Yes, Chloe.
He's a problem solver because even if he couldn't figure out things himself, he did work with others and he problem solved that with others.
Exactly. Do you remember what did he try to solve? Making the balloons
Bigger, higher, and stronger.
Stronger. How to make them float higher so that everyone can see. I agree with you, Chloe. Guys, you have done an excellent job. And now for the fun part to end our lesson for today, may I borrow this? Thank you. We are now going to all march around our classroom. I'm going to put on some parade music. We will show off our balloon puppets. So please stand up. Let's line up and get ready for our classroom parade. Woo!